I'm Sanjeev Mota from BNK Securities. On behalf of BNK, I welcome all of you to another session of our real estate and related series that we've been doing all of this week. We have great pleasure to have Mr. Hiranand Savlani, CFO of Astral Limited, with us. Thank you, sir, so much for joining and sparing your valuable time.
Thank you, sir, for inviting this session.
And we also have Amit Srivastava, who heads the sector. So between me and Amit, we'll ask few questions and then we'll open it up. And anybody has any questions, either you can post it or raise your hand and ask. So, sir, I'll start with since we've been doing this real estate related theme. So maybe I'll ask you from a related real estate perspective first. And as we were discussing just now, and maybe we can talk a bit more about that. What are you seeing, since you are so closely involved with real estate? What are you seeing in real estate across India? Because you are, when we talk to real estate companies, they are mostly much more localized, whereas you are pretty broad-based, and you can see what is happening in various places, trends. So it'll be great to hear, sir, your perspective.
I think the real estate sector per se is a very, very high contributor to the Indian GDP. So India is too much dependent on this sector. So any things which is affecting to that sector indirectly is going to affect the Indian economy also. So almost 225 to 230 industries are connected with the real estate sector. So it is a very important sector from the growth point of view for the country as well as the focus point for the government of India also. So government is also continuously trying to see that this sector should perform. Otherwise, it will be. And secondly, it is a great contributor to the job also. So that point of view also, it is very important sector for the country point of view. What we are seeing that last 2 years during this COVID period, a lot of challenges were there because many places laborers were not available, many places labor migrated. So all these challenges were there, but in spite of all the challenges, I can say still this sector is comparatively okay kind of situation. One good thing which we are seeing on the ground when we are talking to any good developer at the national level or maybe at the regional level, everyone is talking that the booking numbers are great. So every state when we are talking to the developer, everyone is across the board, we are getting the common thing that the ready unit booking is going very well. And the way we are seeing the inventory of the ready booking, I was going through a lot of reports also published by various broking houses that the ready unit inventory is continuously coming down, and perhaps we are lowest of last 5-6 years. So that is the clear indication that the underlying demand is there. There is no doubt about the demand. There are multiple reasons for the demand also, because one of the big reasons I am seeing that across the board, everybody want to upgrade their home. The reason is very simple, that the husband is working from home, wife is working from home, kids are studying from home. You need a separate space for the parents also when you are working from home. So everyone want to upgrade. So if somebody is staying in a 1 BHK, they want to upgrade to 2 BHK. Somebody is staying in 2 BHK, want to upgrade to 3 BHK. So this thing is very clear that everyone want to upgrade themselves. So that is why huge demand is there in the pipeline. Secondly, everyone has saved the money, because normally if you see the middle class, they are traveling a lot in the vacations and all this thing. And during last 2 years, nobody has done the traveling also. So everybody has saved the money also. So that's why also saving rate has gone up. So they want to upgrade themselves. And Indian mindset is that first thing they want to do is the home. Everyone want to give the maximum weightage to the home, then the other things in the, you can say, the lifestyle. So that is also contributing a lot for the growth. Third thing which we are seeing on the ground, that we are today in the almost, you can say, lifetime low interest cycle. Okay, we have never ever seen this kind of interest cycle of housing from so many years. So that is also contributor to the demand, because today we are at the lowest EMI. So that is also helping to the job class community to go for the new home. And in last 12 months, which we are seeing, there is a huge boom going on in the IT sector. and the salary scale of the IT sector, which is increasing continuously, and the kind of growth they are getting. Because I am in touch with many of my family members also in the IT field. They are getting 30% kind of increment. Somebody is getting 40% kind of increment. Now, if the youngsters are going to get so much of increment, so much of growth in that sector, definitely they are going to go for the home buying at the early age of their career. I bought in my home maybe at a 27, 28 years of age. Now youngsters are going for the home even at the age of 22, 23 also. So
Right.
all these things are suggesting that the underlying demand is very high as far as the home is there. But every sector in the building material will not be at the same stage. Because when you are doing the construction of the home, some products you need at the early stage of the construction, some you need at the middle stage of the construction, some you need at the later part of the construction. Now coming to our company side, we are into the pipe category more. Now we are going into the sanitary ware and the faucet. So I will not discuss much on that because we are still not entered into that segment. So it doesn't make sense to discuss that part. But if you talk about the pipe, I think pipe stage comes when the structure of the building is ready. Okay. When the structure skeleton is ready for any building, then you need the pipe. So naturally, our stage comes with laying. So normally that laying is on an average will be 18 months kind of laying. Because any building foundation you start, the structure will be ready by 18 months. Unless there is a small ticket house, then the structure may come by 12 months also. But otherwise, normally 18 to 24 months kind of lag effect is there. So a lot of new announcement is I'm getting for the new projects in the different state. And last, I think 1 week I have received a lot of WhatsApp in which every state is doing the highest launches of the new project. So that indicates that the new launches have started. But again, I am repeating, every building material company may not be performing at the early stage of launch. So it is a time only which will give the idea how much growth is coming from which state and which category it is coming from. So some people will be doing faster growth in the early stage and some maybe with a lag, like our company will come with the lag. So we are of the view that the second half of the next year should be a good for the company like us, particularly the pipe sector. Otherwise, whatever growth which you are seeing in the last 2 years, we are getting maybe last 2 years, we maybe 8-9% kind of volume growth. That is mainly from acquiring the market share of the unorganized people or maybe a weaker organized player. Industry level, there is no growth. Industry is practically degrowth. So within that also we are performing at this level. So the moment industry will start, pipe industry will start giving us the 8 to 10% kind of volume growth, which normally pipe industry is doing since last almost 1 decade.
Yeah.
Then our growth will be much higher than what we are delivering today.
Right. So what you're saying is that you used to do pretty much high. The pipe industry was growing despite the fact that real estate cycle wasn't there for last 8-9 years. So if the cycle actually picks up as you are seeing with the new launches, the pipe industry growth can actually be much higher than 8-9%. Is that the right way of looking at it?
Do better, and a company like Astral, which is continuously launching new products and capturing the market share, we should be even better positioned than the industry average. Historically, if you see the last 10 years, our company has always given the better growth than the industry average.
Right. But as you mentioned, sir, that right now it's actually almost like negative growth that the industry is facing. And initially we saw even last year actually tiles, for example, was doing very well, but we are hearing that even that has slowed quite a bit. So, but are you saying this is a temporary phase that we are going through for maybe 1 or 2 more quarters, or?
So like tiles were doing great. One of the reasons was the pent-up demand was there. Secondly, sizable amount was from the export market also.
Right.
If you talk to anybody in the Morbi, everybody will talk to you that the sizable export improvement was there. So that was also one of the reasons because China factor played a very important role for the export market.
Right.
While in pipe category, I don't think anybody will say that we are exporting large quantity because we are exporting the air. They are not exporting the weight. So because of that, it will not be logistically viable to export the pipe in a big quantity. So whatever the demand is there, that is a local demand. Unless there is a specialized pipe where we do the export, otherwise exporting the pipe is not possible. So because of that, I think last year also pipe industry per se degrowth by 17%. Still we did a 4% kind of volume growth.
Right. Right. Sir, coming to the raw material side, which is right now, again, I guess a big question that's, especially, you had started seeing PVC actually, for example, stabilize and kind of coming down, but again, we have gone through a very volatile phase. What's your thing on raw material? And, are there supply challenges also right now? We are hearing problems in China, obviously Russia, Ukraine, that's the other issue. So what's happening on the raw material side and supply issues on that?
So yes, your observation is absolutely right. I can say there is a challenge in the supply side, and that is why you see there is a high volatility in the polymer price, whether it is the PVC or it is the CPVC. CPVC is a one-way journey; it is going up only. It has never come down. But PVC, I think it went up to 160 rupees a kg from 70 rupees to 160, and then it came down to almost 130 level. And even in grey market, it was 122, 123 level also. So it was working at a discount in the grey market because there was a fear factor that now the polymer will collapse. But it become other way around. Now again the PVC prices have started going up. So now again we are somewhere around 141 or 142 level of per kg price. So highly volatility is there, and it is very, very difficult to understand it. Every week we are getting something different news. So because of that, sometimes China factor is playing, sometimes Ukraine factor is playing, sometimes US level some issues are going on. So because of earlier some canal issue was there, so shipment got delayed. So every time some new problem is coming to the supply side, and that is creating a problem for the industry. And ultimately it is escalating to the price factor, because ultimately if you don't get the right supply, what is the demand is there, everybody will increase the price. So that is what exactly happening. In between, I can say there was a good position and the supply got stabilized, and we can also view that now the prices will also start falling, and everybody was projecting that is why last quarter you see no dealers and distributor was ready to buy the material.
That's right.
Sizable destocking took place in the last quarter because everyone was expecting the prices to go down, and it actually happened. The secondary price gone down from 160 to almost 130 level at Reliance level and 120 to 23 level in the grey market level. So their prediction was right, but nobody thought that now the Ukraine crisis and all will come back, and then there will be a reversal trend also. So now there is a reversal trend. So now again dealers and distributors have started coming back, and they have started doing the stocking work. But still there is a fear factor in the market that this is a war, is a temporary kind of phenomena. So it will come down again. So every dealers and distributors are not stocking fully, which normally everybody stock fully whenever the price rise is there.
Right.
You can say 60-70% distributors have started restocking, but still 30-40% are still not comfortable to buy at a higher price. So there is a dilemma going on. So I think supply chain disturbance is there, definitely there, and that is creating a lot of problems, and particularly in the smaller companies, the unorganized players. They are taking the highest hit for this short supply or maybe disturbance. And bigger company like us who are sitting with a tons of cash, they are taking the advantage of this situation. And that is why you can see in this tough time, highly volatile time, our margins are highest in the industry. So this is also helping us because we can do the right level of pricing in terms of purchase, and that is helping us in a big way. And secondly, we can say we are lucky also that we are major player in CPVC, and CPVC price has not fallen at all. It is growing up, but slow pace, but it is on a one-way journey only. So that is also helping us to maintain our margin at a higher level also. And but yes, definitely the supply disturbance is there in the system. And now, because of this Ukraine war, again, that is creating a more problem, and many raw material availability is a big challenge in the market in today's time.
Right. So, as you just mentioned, and you mentioned in your earnings call also, that the dealer level inventory was actually pretty low because people were expecting the prices to come down. So you just said that dealers have started increasing, but is it your, if I understood you right, it's still maybe 20-30% below the normal level of what they do.
30-40% below the normal level.
Okay. Okay. And but that's at the PVC side. CPVC, you had said that that was more normal because prices are going up on a steady way. So what about CPVC inventory? Is that also at
CPVC
lower
side,
level or?
yeah, CPVC side, we don't see any much problem into the system. But you
Right.
know, CPVC and PVC dealers and distributors are common. So what happened that whenever PVC price goes up, they try to capture CPVC first, and CPVC they will not buy.
Right.
But ultimately, the same dealers and distributors are doing the stocking part.
Right.
Whatever prices are going up, they will give the first priority to that kind of material. If PVC prices are going up fast, then they will stock more of the PVC than the CPVC. So
Right.
ultimately, market is safe. And this
Hmm.
extra inventory, it is anyway lying in their godown only. It is not going to be sold in the market. So they give the priority. So when the PVC prices are up, they will go for the PVC. When the CPVC price going sharp, then they will go for the CPVC. So up and down will keep happening within them. But I think
Right.
compared to the last quarter, which we see, there was a problem in the month of November and December. This time it is much better. February was excellent month for us. And March beginning is good, I can say. And this is the peak quarter perhaps.
Right.
We generate the highest volume in this peak quarter.
Yeah.
So that is going okay, then I think we will be in a much comfortable position. Secondly, we are sitting with the highest inventory also because this is the peak quarter for us. So we have to give the highest inventory also.
Right.
Now on this peak quarter, if the prices will fall, then it is going to give us a double pay. The one side will be destruction will be there, and there will be a pressure on the inventory losses also. But
Right.
it is good that now the prices are going up in CPVC as well as in PVC. So that
Right.
it is helping us to liquidate our excess inventory because of the peak quarter. So we will be in a much better position in this quarter. We will be able to maintain our margins also, and demand wise also, volume wise also, we will be reasonably good, I can say. At a peak
Right.
quarter.
Sir, one structural thing. So, if, as you said, you've been gaining market share, and over the last few years actually, and we are also hearing that more consolidation happening in the real estate sector also, where the bigger players, better players, actually doing better, right? So, does that mean that of course, they would want more branded, and at least pipe, they would definitely want something that they can rely much more on, right? So that's very good for someone like yourselves, right? And also, what does it mean for CPVC versus PVC?
So I think you rightly said that the unorganized players are getting butchered day by day. And secondly, the awareness is being created among the market decision makers also. Because we were the first company to start educating the plumbers. Okay, so we started giving education to the plumber. We were continuously educating them by saying that whatsoever good quality of paint you are using, whatsoever good quality of cement you are using, whatsoever good quality of tiles you are using. But if you are not using the right pipe, this all is not going to work. Because ultimately this pipe is behind the wall. Okay. So if the pipe get leakage, you have to break everything. Your paint will not work, your cement will not work. Ultimately, you have to rebuild again.
Right.
So it is very important, but unfortunately, no market player have given that kind of education to the decision maker. We were the first company to start giving education to these, that pipe carry lot of importance in the building material category. But everybody was treating pipe as a commodity. Pipe means commodity. We were the first to educate the market that pipe is not a commodity. It carries a lot of value. It is having a lot of technicality. Because so far people were not giving that much of importance. But we started giving education to them that plumbing is a technical product. Plumbing is not just like the agriculture pipe you have to pass the water. Plumbing carries a lot of pressure because a plumbing pipe is continuously working under pressure because everyone is using the hydraulic pressure. You are staying on a 25th floor, you are staying at a 15th floor. There the water comes with the pressure, with the hydraulic pressure. If the right quality pipe you are not using, then it has to get leakage. There is no second choice. It will leakage. But unfortunately, this education was not passed on to the plumber level, to the consultant level, because we have to also understand, if you go to the developed part of the globe, where the plumbers are educated people, they are the engineer kind of people who are doing the plumbing work. While in India, all the plumbers are completely uneducated people. So it is very important to give them the education and tell them what is the importance of the pipe. So Astral started that kind of work, and today what you are seeing, the consistency of the growth, and people are ready to give the premium to the Astral brand because they understand that this kind of education being imparted by Astral to them. So they now understand the importance. And then later stage of the journey, I think other players have also started giving education to the plumber. So now it become a norms in the industry that everyone have started doing that activity of plumber meeting, or maybe education to the dealer level, or maybe to the consultant and architect level. So now at least I can say that the awareness being created. And your second question was the CPVC.
Yes.
CPVC is definitely, it's a good polymer, and property wise is also an excellent polymer, and compared to PVC it is much better. And now it is looking more lucrative polymer because the gap between PVC and CPVC has narrowed. So earlier you have to pay the 30% or maybe 35% premium. Now you have to pay 10 to 15% kind of premium versus PVC pipe. The reason being that the PVC India is following the ASTM standard. CPVC India follow the CTS standard. So the difference between two standards is the 30% of the weight. PVC pipe carry 30% more weight than the CPVC.
Right.
So you are using the pipe in your bathroom on a length basis. Okay. So you need a 10-meter pipe in your bathroom. Now, if you are using the PVC pipe, you need a 10 kg of the material. While if you are using the CPVC, you need 7 kg of the material.
Right.
Because you are using the leg, and the thickness of the pipe of CPVC is thin. What's the thickness of the PVC, which is more thicker pipe. So because of that, the gap has come down narrowly, and that is supporting this polymer. That is why you see in this turmoil also of this lockdowns and all, CPVC has comparatively done a good job, and CPVC demand is still better, and that is why our growths are good, and not only growths are good, but our margins are also good.
Right.
Also, there is now a lot of change is happening in PVC also, and lead-free PVC concept we have introduced in the market. That is also supporting us. So overall, CPVC polymer is a good polymer, and that is why people are moving to this polymer.
Right. Great, sir. Sir, one other thing, which is, while we have talked about real estate, but another sector that you are present in and which is also getting quite exciting is the infrastructure side. What are you seeing in terms of government spending or otherwise in infrastructure? What's your outlook there?
I think infrastructure is a great space. That is why we ought to enter into that segment. But it is unfortunate for our company, I can say, that when we entered and we were about to gear up, we set all the systems because we acquired this company, Rex Poly Extrusion. And initially, any acquisition, you have to do the cleaning exercise. So we did all this exercise and we were ready for the takeoff. And then the COVID started. And all of a sudden, the government spending stopped. Government was having the priority of medical than any other thing. So because of that, the infrastructure sector spending came down substantially. So because of that, that sector was not able to give us the growth. On the contrary, I can say it has given us the degrowth. Okay. So our judgment went wrong because of this COVID. But now I am seeing that from this budget, the kind of announcement government has done for the infrastructure side, I think that is a great announcement they have done. First time I am seeing in the budget so much of thrust being given to the capex side. Normally we are seeing in every budget, they are giving more focus on the subsidy side than the capex side. This year, at least government has realized that they have to create the capex, otherwise economy cannot be kick-started. So they have allocated sizable budget to the capex side, and that is going to take this infrastructure business to the next level. So perhaps I am of the view next year, infrastructure segment of our business will give the highest growth compared to PVC, CPVC or any other product. Because the kind of inquiries being generated in the system and having a low base, on that low base, the growth percentage will be very, very high. So I'm expecting that that segment is a great segment and that will give us a good growth in the coming time, along with our new product like water tank or sanitary ware and the faucets also. So I'm very positive on the infrastructure side for the FY23 and 24.
Right. But sir, from a margins and a capital employed way, is infrastructure as good as the pipes or real estate side, or worse or better?
I think you are right, but when you are growing at a higher run rate, then I don't think it is a challenge. If you are not growing, then capital employment looks painful to you.
Right.
Okay. But if you are growing at a 40-50% at a low base, then I think you will be getting the same return what you are getting in the other. Right now, today, the advantage to Astral is that CPVC and PVC businesses are growing at a very good level. So that's why return ratio looks very, very attractive. That segment right now, last 2 years, is not able to grow. On the contrary, degrow. It looks that wrong capital being allocated over there. But now next year, suppose hypothetically that segment will grow at 40% run rate. I am sure it will be giving the same return what our other businesses are giving.
Right.
So if the businesses is giving you the higher growth, I don't think any problem is there. Little bit margin will be lower compared to our regular product, but at the same time the return will be high.
Right.
Because of the higher growth.
Sure, sir. So last question from my side, and then I'll hand it to Amit, which is that if I look at 3 years down the line or 4 years down the line, and you're growing in adhesives, you're growing now, you're launching a lot of new stuff in on home side. Plus, you're saying growth in infrastructure. So if I were to look at, let's say, 4 products, which is pipes, adhesives, let's say other home related, and then infrastructure side, how would you think it will look like? How would your product portfolio look like? You think? And it's a ballpark. I know it's very difficult to project like that, but just a thought.
I think out of this couple of things, we are still not geared up. So like faucet and sanitary one, we have still not started yet.
Yeah.
So it is very, very difficult to predict what these businesses are going to do over a period of time. Our expectation will always be high. That is why we are entering into that business. Similarly, tank business, that is also a new business. Opportunity is very huge, like tank 5,000 crore opportunity is there. And next year we are targeting to grow easily 100 crore mark. So we are going to capture 2% of the market share next year. But a company like Astral, which is I can say the 37 to 40,000 dealer point, majority of them are selling the water tank. So doing a 100 crore rupee business, I think it is too low number for us. And secondly, we are going to decentralize this business. So we started with 3 plants. Now we have added 2 plants. That is the south plant and the east plant. And in future also we may add a few more locations for the tank. So if you are a decentralized company, then I think 5-7% you can easily capture the market share. So if you are capturing 5-7%, the 300-400 crore brand will be there in a shorter span. It is very difficult. Somebody will say 5 years, somebody may say 4 years also. But ultimately, that ballpark figure will be easily achievable. Similarly, I can say our existing business, they are already doing great for us. And they will keep maintaining that run rate, whether it is the adhesive you see last couple of years, we are continuously, quarter on quarter, if you see, they are continuously growing 20% plus run rate. And similarly, the pipe. Pipe is also consistently giving us a 15% plus kind of growth. So overall, I can say at the top, because the base is low for the infra should give us the highest contribution in the coming time. Then the second will be the pipe category, and then the third will be our tank and other category, and the last will be the faucet and sanitary ware, because that we don't know how much growth will come. So I think at the top, in the coming 2-3 years, infra should be at the top because base is also low, and now we are seeing a lot of attraction into that sector. And CPVC and PVC will keep continuously giving us a good growth. And then tank will also give us a good growth in next 2-3 years. Faucet and sanitary ware, I think I will be in a position to tell you once we will launch that and will get the feedback from the market. Then only I will come to know. So overall pipe category, I can say the percentage term contribution will be reducing over a period of time. And the other category, it will go up because other category, the base is still very, very low.
Right. Adhesives, where do you see like 3 years? Can you even double from here?
So I think from the day we have entered into this adhesive business, we are growing at a 16-17% CAGR. Okay, from 2014 onward. And we are of the view that another 5 years, this run rate will be easily maintained. Because still our run rate, still our base is very low. This year we are targeting to be 1,000 crore company.
Yeah.
Year in that. But ultimately we will be close to the ballpark figure of 1,000 crore. So from now we are working on the unlocking the plan for the 2,000 crore. How we are going to reach the 2,000 crore mark. So we are planning for introduction of a lot of new products also, a lot of new SKUs also, working with a few new chemistries also. I think a lot of work R&D department is doing, and we are of the view that we will continuously going to introduce new products also. We are going to introduce new SKUs also. We are going to enter into the new geographies also, because still you see the adhesive, Astral is known in the west and the north. East and the south market is still, I can say, very negligible for us, very, very negligible for us. So now if we will start focusing into these two markets in the coming 5 years, I'm sure we will be getting reasonably good market share over there. And so far, as adhesive business was working on a push mode only. Okay, first time we have released our aid, and we are trying to see that in next 5 years time we will be converted into the full mode. So branding will also give support to this category. So we are of the view that let us first work on the 2,000 crore mark, and then we will see that how we can take this company from 2,000 and beyond. So we will work on that. But right now, I think our team is working for that kind of ballpark figure, and we are confident that in another 4 to 5 years time, we will be touching to that level. And if the market will support and economy will support, and continuously GDP may grow at 8% kind of run rate, we may achieve this ballpark figure even little early also.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Amit, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so just in addition to the same question on adhesive side, so now we are targeting towards the journey of 2,000 crore. So basically, just wanted to understand which side of business will focus more in terms of consumer side, or will continue, or we are looking at the industrial side of the product also, because that is also a bigger market. And how do you see the competition in this segment? Because a lot of paint companies, Asian Paint, Berger, all are coming in an aggressive way in launching the products in this segment. So how do you see this aspect of the business?
I think so far our focus is on the consumer side. Okay. We are not giving too much of importance on the, you can say, the industry side. So our focus is on the consumer side. And in future also, more focus will be on the consumer side. We may come with a few products in the industrial side also, and we are there, but our focus is very, very thin over there. So I think in the coming time also, we will be focusing more on the consumer side than the industrial side or other product side.
Okay. And in terms of competition, sir, how do you see?
And you rightly said the other companies will also come into this segment. But you see, whatever the announcement you are seeing from the other companies side, more of they are coming into the construction chemical side. And the construction chemical side, our presence is very, very thin. So I don't think it is a big challenge to us because they are not into the other category. They are more of the construction chemical side.
Okay. And in terms of our plant, sir, basically earlier what we were discussing that our plant is capable.
I think your voice is missing.
Just a minute, sir. Yeah, so just I was trying to say Am I audible?
Yeah. Now you are audible.
Yes. So just was trying to say that,
Yes,
sir,
you
in
can speak up. Yeah, you can
yeah,
speak up.
yeah. So in a adhesive business, basically last quarter we have seen the margin pressure because of the chemical prices as which moved up sharply. We were expecting this would be passed on this quarter. So again, we are getting the sharp
I
increase
think
in the
your
price.
voice is cracking. I think your voice is cracking.
Okay, sir. Harsh, you can start.
Yeah. I can hear you, but in between your voice is cracking.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Some
can you
network.
repeat?
Yeah, sir. I was asking about that. How is the pass on of the cost inflation which has happened in adhesive business?
I think cost inflation is always a challenge for a retail company or maybe a consumer company, because normally what happens that pass-through take place with the lag. And normally in the history also you see these kind of cost escalation, no company has seen in the history. So it is a very challenging for every company. Even if you see our peers also, or you see the leaders also, everybody is struggling for the pass-through mechanism. But yes, no company can hold this pass-through for a longer period. So ultimately, sooner or later, you have to pass to the market only. And that is what exactly we are doing. So in between, sometimes some pressure will be there. Last year also the similar situation were there, but we were able to pass through completely to the market. So we were able to maintain our margin. This year also, if you see, the first half was comparatively good, but in the second half, last Q3, some pressure was there. And the similar situation is in the Q4 also. There is a pressure on the cost side. So we are passing on to the market, but somehow we pass on in between, another price rise is happening into the raw material side. Another supply constraint is coming to the raw material side. So what happens that we are not in a position to completely pass through to the market. So because of that, some pressure is coming. So we are of the view that sooner or later the peak will be there and then the reduction will start. So whenever the reduction will start, that will be the point we will start improving our margin very sharp. And that is what exactly, if you see, study the bigger companies' pictures also, like Asian Paint or Pidilite or other company you see, whenever there is a raw material price reduction is there, they are improving their margin very sharply. And that is why they don't pass through completely to the market in a one go. So they always pass through in a tranches. So that is what exactly we are also doing right now. So some pressure will continue till the prices are going up. But one point will come, prices will start falling. That is going to give us a good support, and we will be improving our margin very sharply. So right now, yes, definitely some pressure is there on the adhesive side. Pipe side, one thing is good that the industry has a very good habit, or I can say practice, which normally pass through take place within a week to 15 days time. And that is continuously process followed by every players in the market. Majority of the organized players are following that cycle. Unless few disparate players are there in the market who are trying to disturb the market and they don't pass through to the market on a 15 days time or 1 week time. But majority of the good companies are passing through within a week to 15 days time. So there we don't see too much of pressure. There only some up and down will happen in the margin when there is a inventory loss or inventory gain. At that stage, margin will be up and down. Otherwise, normally pass through take place very quickly. So that pipe side, I don't see any pressure.
Okay. Sir, basically in the past we have discussed that our adhesive business capex, basically the plants are capable of generating revenue potential of around 1,500 crore. I hope with the Dahej expansion, this revenue potential will increase. So reaching to 2,000 crore, we may not have to do much of capex. Is this right assumption, or
I think
we'll have
post Dahej, we don't require any capex. Once we will be
Okay.
completing the Dahej, then after
Right.
this will take care of 2,000 crore plus mark.
Okay. And in terms of you have covered the CPVC part, sir. So just wanted to understand. Last 1 year, the growth of CPVC was also driven by as the gap between the CPVC and PVC resin has narrowed. So how is the current scenario right now? And if the gap will again widen, can we expect the situation will get reversed on a CPVC side, sir?
I think gap is still, I think, narrow only. So that is continuously going to support the industry. So we don't see that overnight that gap will go away. PVC price will fall over a period of time. And we are not expecting now these prices will come back to the pre-COVID level. That will be the history now. That price will never ever see in the coming at least couple of years. Afterward, I don't know. But I don't think same price will come back in the system. Because if you see the global level capex now, then also you will see nobody has increased the capex. Okay. Nobody has done that kind of capex. Normally what happened that suppose hypothetically polymer is growing at a 7% run rate. So every year you see that the 7% kind of capacity addition take place at the global level. But in last 2 years of COVID, nobody has done the capex. And now all of a sudden the pent-up demand will come. So because of that, capacity constraint will be there with every manufacturer. So they will always try to see that they get the more realization. So everybody will move for the more realization rather than doing immediately the capex part. So because of that, we are not expecting that the prices will fall so sharply. Some correction is needed, which is good and healthy, I can say, for the industry to grow at a very double-digit level volume growth. For that, some correction is required. But I don't think too much of correction will also happen in a shorter period of time. Longer period, yes, it is possible if the new capacity will keep coming in the system. But till the new capacities are not coming, and capacity cannot be created overnight also. Normally, capacity takes a couple of years' time. If CPVC plant is there, then even it will take more than 2 years' time also. So in that case, we are of the view, our understanding is that the prices will remain at a higher level only with the near term. But I think longer term, there may be some corrections, but short term, we don't see. And so this gap will be there and the CPVC demand will be there. Secondly, I already said that the polymer is also good. CPVC polymer is very good. And now many companies are into this polymer. So because of that, everyone is creating the awareness. So once you create awareness, then you are improving the size of the industry. So I am seeing that continuously the CPVC industry size per se will grow. So it is not that Astral will only take the benefit, other players may also get the benefit because the size will expand. So that is also going to give us a good support in the coming time. Temporarily, some hiccup is there on the supply side. But I think over a period of time, this supply constraint will go away from the system once this COVID scenario will settle down. And then after, I think CPVC will keep continuously growing. If you read the CRISIL report on the CPVC, I think they were projecting 20% CAGR growth. But it is unfortunate that because of COVID, the growth is not there. But I'm sure once this construction activity will start picking up, the CPVC will keep growing at a higher run rate.
Okay. Sir, one next question is basically we have indicated in our calls that FY24 is going to be the blockbuster year in terms of the overall business. So what are the assumptions we are building in? Like, is the capex completion or is the pre-launch is going to be there into 24? So that's why we are building in, or the normalization of the business. What are the things which we are building into that when we are considering that FY24 onwards we can have that kind of growth?
2-3 things are there. That's why we commented like that. One, Astral will be ending the capex cycle because FY23 will be the, I think last year, after that 2-3 year pause will be there on the capex cycle. So that will be the good part and we will be having a lot of free cash flow with us. Secondly, what we are seeing that whatever our new businesses are there, okay, we have recently launched, whether it is a tank, whether it is the infra, or whether it is our drain profile which we have recently launched, or whether it is a sanitary ware and the faucets. Everything will settle down in FY23. Okay.
Right.
They will settle down, then the growth phase will come. So we are expecting that all these things will give us the growth in FY24. So on one side, your capex cycle will be getting over. On the other side, the new product contribution will keep good level of support to the company because everything will settle down. Tech will be pan-India available. Our Trend Pro will be pan-India availability will be there. Our the sanitary ware and faucet, we will be settling down ourselves in next 12 months time. So all this thing, I think, going to support us for the better number in the current. And by that time, industry will also start contributing to us because I said in the initial communication that our turn come after 18 months to 24. So we are expecting that second half of the FY23 order demand will start picking up. So when demand start picking up, then it will come to the peak level maybe in FY24. So that is why we say that FY24 will be the good year from us because we will be completing all our expansion projects also. So we will be ready with the capacities also.
Okay, got it, sir. Yeah, so we will open for the Q&A. If any participant has any question, please raise your hand. And
I think we have a question.
yeah.
Himang, go ahead, please.
My question is on the distribution side. How you see in which region we are lacking in terms of the distribution? So where we just have to fill the gap with as far as the dealers or distribution is concerned. So be it east or be it north region, which region we are filling the distribution gap should be filled for Astral.
I think historically, you see, we are a West-dominated company. Then we enter into the southern market. So we increase our strength in south. Today, my south plant is working almost at 80% capacity utilization. Then we entered into the north market, and today our plant is working around 70% plus utilization over north. And then we are now entering into the eastern market. So whenever you are entering into the new market, having plant, so naturally, the first distribution network increase takes place over there. So I think I'm sure the East will be the first phase. Secondly, across the board, brand is getting stronger and stronger. The way branding team is working in the organization, I think we can proudly say that Astral is known across the nook and corner of the country because everywhere, whenever I travel, I see the Astral presence, even in the smaller cities also. So whenever you are getting stronger and stronger in terms of brand, then the pull effect will always be there. And that will give you the next level of growth. Okay. So whenever I travel in any city, I always feel that there is still a lot of room to expand the network over there. I was there last week in East also. And when I meet with the all distributors of my Eastern region with the lunch, so everyone was telling, sir, आप एक बार plant लाइए, आप देखिए आपको क्या number देते हैं हम लोग, क्योंकि because of freight we are suffering a lot. So now if the freight concession will be there, then definitely they are going to give us the growth. Similarly, I am seeing that the brand is getting so strong in every region, then every dealers are forced to come to us. Okay, they want to sell our product because the customers are asking them, plumbers are asking them that we want Astral brand. So in that case, every dealer has to keep the inventory because you can't, beyond the point, you can avoid your customer. If customer is coming out of 10 customers, if your 4 customers are telling or 5 customers are telling that we want Astral, then definitely at one point will come that you will start selling the Astral products also. So I think the scope for distribution expansion is across the country. Definitely East will be more because we are having plant now operational over there. So there will be little more, but I personally feel the scope is across the country. Every state we can increase the dealer network. I think I am done with the question or anything else you want to ask.
Harsh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hi, good evening. So my question is that we have gone through this phase of pandemic in the past 2 years. So are there any structural changes that have happened in the industry which may have flown to the larger players I understand you highlighted this point of market share gain, but maybe just to give an example, like in other building products, companies have been highlighting that dealers look at the sustainability of supply chain. So any such thing that has happened in the pipes industry that you might have seen?
Something has happened, that is why we are getting the market share. Otherwise, I may not be in a position to tell you everything because it is a highly confidential, which we cannot share with anyone. We are seeing structural correction happening on the ground. That is why continuously our share is going up. So we have done a lot of homework. We have done a lot of research into that side. We have collected a lot of information from the market. Based on that, we are seeing that there are certain pockets, there are certain areas, there are certain products where Astral is quite weak. So if we can focus over there, I think we can maintain that higher growth trajectory and we can easily get the market share also. So we are also at the corporate level also, we are also changing our strategy. In last 2 years, we have done a lot of corrections within us also because it's an ongoing exercise. It is not a static kind of thing. Whenever we go to the market and we try to understand what the marketplace are communicating to us. And if we understand them in detail, then we will come to know that now some correction is required in our strategy also. I think continuously we are studying the market from a different geography, and we are getting the sense that there are huge potential for a brand like Astral to grow because still we are at a very nascent stage, I can say. Today, you see what is the market share of Astral? We are just 6-7% of the market share, which is too low for a brand like Astral, which is having a pan-India presence, and it's the most respectable brand in the country. It is not I am saying. We have been awarded like that. So today, you ask anyone in the market, you go and talk to the plumber, I'm sure Astral's name will be much at the top level. So all these things are suggesting that still we have to do a lot of work whereby we can increase our market share. And I think Astral team has rightly worked hard in this COVID time, and we have identified certain areas where we have to work hard and we can get easily the additional market share. And that is what we are doing. So there are areas where I think still we have not done a good work. So we have to work and we have to see that how we can take this market share from 6-7% to a double-digit kind of market share. So we are working on that and we'll continuously keep working hard because this is the market. You have to continuously work. It is not that today is the one set of things, tomorrow may be changing also. So you have to be so dynamic that with the markets change, you have to keep yourself also change. And that is only will take you to the next level.
Sure. And regarding the sanitary ware and faucets business, so possibly as we are moving to our earlier indicated launch timeline, so have we like finalized some contracts with outsourcing partners? What is going to be our target market? Would you be initially targeting metro cities or the lower tier towns? And how do you intend to position this product in this category?
I think it's too early to comment on that because still we have been given the target by March end. We should finalize our outsourcing partner. I think by month end, we are targeting that we will be finalizing our outsourcing partner. We will finalize the designing part and all these things. And then we will be giving the orders to them. So by April, May, we will be receiving the inventory and from maybe June first week or maybe May end, we may start opening up the few states. So I think a lot of discussion is going on within the team, but still it is not finalized. So I think it will be too early to give the idea about that part. I think keep patient for one more quarter. I think we will be ready with the answer for this. And hopefully we are targeting that by in this May analyst meet, that is that we are targeting to conduct in the last week of May. There we will bring at least all the sanitary ware and the faucet samples so that at least you can get a sense what kind of product Astral is going to start with. That is what we are internally working for that. keep finger crossed, if nothing will happen to the COVID side in next couple of months, then I think we will be showcasing all these things to the analyst and the fund community also. And at the same time, we will invite our key, you can say the decision maker also over there to see our product range also. So, but I think giving too much information of that business, I think it will be a premature. Even I don't know many things, so I will not be able to comment on that side. Let me first understand the market and all the things. Then we are the most vocal company, you know. We will not shy away to share the information to you guys. But at least some stage will come. At that stage, we will be sharing with you.
Sure, sir. Thanks a lot for taking those questions.
So, one question that just someone posed in terms of the next generation, how and what capacity are they involved right now in the business?
So like the elder son, Mr. Cairo engineer, he is with the organization for last almost 12 years now. Okay. And he is a double graduate from Georgia Tech University, US. And he started his journey with branding activity. And then slowly and gradually he has, I think, involved himself into every areas of pipe business. So today he is talking to the plant people also. He is talking to the marketing and sales people also. He is interacting with the finance team also. So I think most of the work which Mr. Sandeep engineer used to do, I think majority of the task he is doing for the piping business. As far as this adhesive business is concerned, I think the younger son, Mr. Savlani engineer, he is graduated from the Arizona State University of US. And he, from the day one, he has started giving focus to the adhesive side of the business. So he is fully involved into the adhesive side of the business, and he's taking care of all the areas except branding. Branding is taken care by the elder son Cairo for the even adhesive business also. Because we don't wanted to bifurcate the same area to too many people. So that's why he is handling this branding part. Otherwise, other than branding, I think most of the area he is also equally involved, and he is taking keen interest. And now he is almost, you can say, last 9 years he is with the organization. I think the second generation is picking up very fast. And normally, the street has a concern about the succession planning. I think one of the great succession planning is there in our organization, that both of the sons of Mr. Engineer has married to two real sisters. So two real sisters are there in their family. So both are in the same family. So I don't think any issue in the future also as far as the succession planning is there. Right. That's the great thing I think Mr. Sandeep engineer has done.
Right. No, that's great, sir. So last thing, you will be throwing a lot of cash, and as you said, you're coming close to the end of your capex cycle. Are any acquisitions or what are any thoughts on what can happen with the cash? What are you planning to do?
I think that is the burning point for me as a CFO also, to be honest with you. Because it is a continuously pressure on me also that what to do for this cash. Because ultimately, we are the trustees of our shareholder. So at one point we have to work out the plan and give it transparently to our shareholder. What are we going to do with this surplus cash? Because this year, though so much of inflationary pressure is there, company is going to grow at a 30-35% run rate. In spite of that, we are sitting on almost 450 crore rupees of cash. As of yesterday, I am telling you. Right. So maybe hopefully by year completion, we will be close to about 50 crore kind of, 500 crore kind of cash. So we are very categorically clear. This thing I have discussed with the board members also, because board has invited multiple times to me to discuss what is planning for this cash. So we have internally discussed a lot on this subject, and the board was of the view that till the pandemic pain is there in the system, we should keep this cash with us, though it is a negative return for us. Right. Because it is generating hardly 4-5% kind of return, and no CFO will like to sit with a 4-5% kind of return when my business is generating 25% plus kind of return. But because of this the situation on the ground, I think we have to hold the cash. I think once the normalcy will come back, which looks like now no more waves will be there, then in that case, I think we will give back this to the shareholders back. either by way of dividend or maybe buyback or whatever the benefit to the shareholder we will do. Now your question, specific question of acquisition. I think we are always open-ended company. We always look the opportunity in the market, and now also we are looking the opportunities in the market to enter into the acquisition route, whether it is an existing product or maybe a new category also. So that work will continuously going on in the system. But targeting timeline for the acquisition, I think it is really painful for any CFO to target. But yes, I can say our eyes are open for that. Any good opportunities available, it is most welcome. Even you can also suggest me any good opportunities there. We are always open-ended company, and if it is a return ratio is workable to us, we will be definitely interested into that areas also.
Right. But you won't be looking at anything outside India, right?
No, we are not looking for anything outside India. That is categorically very clear.
Right. Sure. I think that's all from our side. I think there are no further questions as well. I think, Amit, shall we close? Amit, you're on mute.
Yeah, sir. I think we can close everything else.
Yeah, Mr. Savlani, thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to seeing you in our conference as well. As I said, we have a physical conference, so
Surely, I will see that I should, but it will be honor for me to be in your conference. So definitely I will come physically in your conference. And thank you for hosting this call, and thanks to all the participants for joining this call.
Great. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Amit ji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.